Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. Today is 9th of June. The first news is India and Vietnam sign mutual logistic agreement, something important for India and Vietnam. Second, government scheme help poor to live with dignity. This is an independent study, so government has quoted the benefits of the scheme. Third, RBI raised rates to tame inflations. Four, India and Iran strengthening the bilateral ties. And the last is an editorial, the future of Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code is a topic which is very important for your mains examination, interview, or you can say the personality test, and sometimes it might be significant for the prelims as well, right? So apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. So these questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So you can practice the question at the end of this session. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful for the examination, do not forget to press a like button. The first news of the day, that is India and Vietnam sign mutual logistic agreement. This is important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral, regional and global grouping and agreement involving India's and affecting India's interest. So recently, India and Vietnam have signed MOU, that is Memorandum of Understanding for the mutual logistics support, right? And this, the government, basically both the Indian and Vietnam government has released a vision statement on defense partnership towards 2030 that aims to bolster the bilateral defense cooperation between India and Vietnam. So if you're writing the bilateral relationship between India and Vietnam, make sure you highlight the MOU and the mutual logistics support. So the Memorandum of Understanding will simplify the procedures for the mutually benefited logistics supports. Now, defense and security cooperations पे भी बात की गई है. So India and Vietnam has a close defense and security cooperation, and this is an important factors जहाँ पे Indo-Pacific region में stability में ये बहुत हद तक मदद करेगी, right? India and Vietnam has also agreed for an early finalization of $500 defense line of credit that would be extended to Vietnam. So this is in terms of finances that both countries mutually would be benefited. And India and Vietnam have shared a comprehensive strategic partnership since 2016, and defense cooperation is a key pillar in this partnership, right? So defense या फिर comprehensive strategic partnership की बात करें, so this is not new. We already have started this way back in 2016. So Vietnam is an important partner for India's Act East policy also. So अगर आप Act East policy के बारे में मेंस में कोई ऐसे टॉपिक्स को कवर कर रहे हैं, make sure you cover the country Vietnam and India's and Vietnam bilateral relationship. Now, logistic agreement with some other countries apart from Vietnam. So India has signed several logistic agreement which include the Quad countries, France, Singapore, South Korea, and this is in the beginning of the logistic exchange memorandum of understanding with United States is actually started in 2016. Logistic agreements की अगर बात करें, they are the administrative arrangement facilitating towards the access to military facilities, exchange of fuel provisions on the mutual agreement, and simplifying the logistic supports and increasing the operational turnaround of the military when operating from away from India. So ये कुछ advantages होते हैं जब एक country logistic agreements करती है किसी दूसरी country के साथ. So UPSC in its prelims examination might ask you that which all are the advantages of a country engaging in the logistic agreements, right? तो ये सारे कुछ examples या फिर statement दिए होंगे जिसको आपको choose करना होगा. So make sure you are thorough with this as well. Another news, government scheme help poor live with dignity, something important for General Studies paper 2, welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. So referring to an independent study on the food consumption pattern, the finance minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, also known as PMGKY, has reduced the probability of people consuming less food. तो 76% तक इसमें रिडक्शंस देखी गई है और जो यूजेस में यूटिलिटी की बात की जाए 75% तक बढ़ी है, राइट. So the study was conducted by KPMG, it's an independent think tank, और जर्मनी की एक इंस्टीट्यूट है KFW, these are renowned institution globally. इन्होंने कंफर्म किया है कि जो PMGKY है, which was actually announced in 2020 during the COVID-19, has yield good results. Now, government will definitely take the advantage of this, and even as a good practices, अगर आप ethics के paper, general studies paper 4 में कुछ quote करना चाहते हैं, make sure you quote this. And even for general studies paper 2, you can highlight that the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana has actually helped the people in getting advantages in the food consuming patterns. Now, other advantages of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So this shows that the assistance under the program has reduced the probability of borrowing money, that is 67% of all the responses. So these are some of the factual data that would be relevant for your examination. Health expenditure की अगर बात करें, the Union Finance Minister also refer the study, that is the KPMG studies. कुछ और studies की गई हैं Indian School of Business. वहाँ के प्रोफेसर्स का कहना है जो आयुष्मान भारत स्कीम जो है with 21% decline in out of pocket expenses. जो आयुष्मान भारत स्कीम गवर्नमेंट ने जब से लॉन्च किया तो हर एक जो टोटल पॉपुलेशन है जो हेल्थ केयर में एक्सपेंडिचर्स करती थी उनके एक्सपेंडिचर में जो सेविंग हुई है वो 21% तक हुई, राइट. एंड 8% fall in the tendency of borrowing the emergency health purposes among the other poor household. Now, emergency credit liquidity guarantee scheme, this is also known as ECLGS. So citing another study example, the ministry said that the loan sanctions have crossed 3.1 lakh crore rupees of March 2022, and hand holding has kept many people afloated during the pandemic. So these all scheme which was there by the central government has aided the citizen of this country, even for different sector of the society. Basically जो MSME से related के लोग थे, जो health care में the senior citizen, or even the poor people who have lost their parents due to COVID-19. So government has come up with schemes that is helping to the different section of the society, right? तो आप किसी भी आंसर के पॉजिटिव नोट्स में जब भी लिखे मेंस में, so make sure you ending your answer with a positive note. You can quote this example, this scheme which has actually helped the citizen of this country. Now, RBI raised rates to tame inflation, something important for General Studies Paper 3 under the topic Indian Economy and Issues Related to Planning, Mobilization, Resource Growth and Development. So the Reserve Bank of India and its Monetary Policy Committee, that is MPC Committee, उन्होंने unanimously ये decide किया है कि जो repo rate है वो 50 basic points तक और बढ़ाए जाएंगे in order to slow down the inflation. We have seen that the inflation are soaring in our country, and it has led to the price rise, which is actually very detrimental for the people who are not earning that amount. तो proportionately अगर आप देखें तो inflation इतनी बढ़ी हुई है कि गरीब लोगों को काफ़ी ज़्यादा problem हो रही है. They are not able to meet the desired requirement with the daily wages they are earning, right? So inflation is estimated to be average around 7.5% in the current fiscal, which is pretty on the higher side. 6% से ऊपर जाने की बात नहीं गई है. बहुत सारे ऐसे कमिटीज़ हैं RBI के जिन्होंने 4 + -2 की बात की थी, but again 6 above 6 is something which is very detrimental, right? Up to 7.5% है. Now we'll see as the post recovery हो रही है जब कोविड के बाद, तो कुछ ग्रोथ रेट्स यहाँ पे अच्छी होगी और इन्फ्लेशन के नंबर्स में भी डिक्रीज होगी. Now, impact of RBI decision, the RBI move will increase the borrowing cost, जहाँ पे कोशिश ये की जाएगी that seeking loan to buy car, home, MSME firm has to look forward for raising the capital. And the MPC, that is the Monetary Policy Committee, have decided to remain focused on the withdrawal of accommodation, which will provide support to the COVID-19 hit economy and to ensure that inflation remain within the target 6% से नीचे, although 4 ± 2 की band है. Let's see, it will take another quarters or two to come to that pace, because we have seen the decrements of Indian economy, जहाँ पे बहुत -23% तक की growth दिखी गई थी GDP में. Now we would be recovering very soon, but it will take its due course of time, expecting within a year or at least 3 quarters. Now, another important decision by RBI has raised limit for housing loan giving the cooperative banks. and it has allowed the rural cooperative banks to lend to the commercial real estate sectors. जो urban cooperative banks होंगे, they would be able to allowed to offer a doorstep delivery to the customers, and RBI has also allowed enhancement to have a unified payment interface. Although in India, the level of UPI has crossed the benchmark, even the anticipated benchmark was crossed. And to deepen the reach and uses, it will allow the linkages of the credit towards the UPI. Now, rise in inflation. This is evident from the fact that inflation has steeply increased beyond the upper tolerance level. And the prime reason that is attributing this inflation is somewhere with the ongoing war between or ongoing crisis between Russia and Ukraine. ये एक बहुत ही बड़ी फैक्टर है जिसने पूरे सप्लाई चेन को डिस्टर्ब किया है. क्रूड ऑयल के प्राइसेस बढ़े हैं, और किसी भी कंट्री में जब क्रूड ऑयल के प्राइसेस बढ़ते हैं, इट इज़ बिट ऑब्वियस कि वहाँ पे जो कमोडिटीज़ के प्राइसेस हैं वो भी बढ़ेंगे. सो दिस हैज़ एक्चुअली इम्पैक्टेड टू अ लार्जर एक्सटेंट. नाउ क्रूड ऑयल एंड रिटेल इन्फ्लेशन की अगर बात करें, बेस्ड ऑन द अजम्पशंस, द नॉर्मल मॉनसून एवरेज क्रूड ऑयल की प्राइसेस भी बढ़नी है, 105 पर बैरल की रहेगी. रिटेल इन्फ्लेशन इज प्रोजेक्टेड अबाउट 6.7%, quarter आगे 7.1, 7.4, 7.6.2, and even for the end it is expected to go down to 5.8%. And about 75% of the increase in inflation projection could be attributed due to food group, क्योंकि जो इन्फ्लेशन की जाती है, जो CPI की मेजरमेंट्स होती है, वो फूड इन्फ्लेशन को ज़्यादातर जो वेटेज होती है फूड इन्फ्लेशन की सबसे ज़्यादा होती है, कंजम्पशन पैटर्न पे सबसे ज़्यादा होती है. सो द रीज़न बी वी हैव सीन द हाइक इन द नंबर्स ऑल्सो. Now, growth forecast की अगर बात करें, the Monetary Policy Committee has retained the growth forecast for the real GDP around 7.2%, and the output would be expanded by 16.2% in quarter 1, and by 6.2%, 4.1, and 4.0 in quarter 4. Now, India and Iran strengthening of bilateral ties, important for General Studies paper 2, effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries on India's interest and India's diaspora. So, Iran के जो external affairs ministers हैं, he had a talk with his Indian counterpart, Mr. S. Jaishankar, and this aimed to bolster the bilateral ties between India and Iran. Right? We have recently seen कुछ ऐसे स्पोक पर्सन ने, बीजेपी के स्पोक पर्सन ने ऐसी कुछ बातें कही हैं प्रॉफिट को लेकर के, जिसको लेकर के काफ़ी ज़्यादा डिस्प्यूट हुई है. जितने कंट्रीज़ हैं, अरब कंट्रीज़, दे हैव प्रोटेस्टेड अगेंस्ट द स्टेटमेंट. तो उस कंटेक्स्ट में ये एक मीटिंग बहुत रिवाइवल देखी जा रही है कि किस तरह से आगे रेक्टिफाई किया जा सके उस तरह के जो इंसिडेंट हुए. सो द टॉक टुक प्लेस बिटवीन द बैकड्रॉप ऑफ वाइडेस्ट anger, that controversial remark by the Prophet Muhammad, which was made by the former BJP spokesperson. I'm not naming because we are not discussing that political news. As a civil services aspirant, you should know the basics, but आपको उसके डिटेल में, उसके डेप्थ में जाने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं, right? We are more concerned about the exam related content. So beside, both sides have signed an agreement on the mutual and legal assistance in civil and commercial matters. Now, अगर ईरान की एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर की बात करें, ही इज ऑन अ 3-day visit which he aims to further enhance the bilateral ties between India and Iran, and this is a first visit by the senior leader of the members, which is coming from the Organization of Islamic Cooperations, right? After the controversy that has arisen because of the statement coming from the spokesperson with regard to the Prophet Muhammad. Now, however, the Ministry of External Affairs have categorically rejected the IOC criticism, and even India following the comments on the prophets. Now, Joint Comprehensive Plan for Actions की अगर बात करें, जिसको JCPOA भी कहते हैं, this commonly known as Iran nuclear deal, they were finalized way back in 2015, and Tehran and other several countries, including EU, that have aimed to curb the Iran nuclear ambitions. Now, US has withdrawn from this on May 2018 and reimposed the sanctions on Iran. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, Alauddin will travel to Mumbai and Hyderabad. He is a foreign minister of Iran, and he would be engaging India in many other multilateral forums, and even try to engage that India is a good partner with Iran. Afghan issue, which is again, India has never recognized the Taliban government. तो अफगानिस्तान की अगर बात करें, India has been in touch with Iran over the development which is taking place in Afghanistan by the government of Taliban. And Iranian National Security Advisor has also attended a regional conference that is hosted by India in November on the Afghan crisis. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, the future of Uniform Civil Code, important for General Studies Paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from its design and implementation. So this entire editorial focuses upon the Uniform Civil Code, and I'll be simplifying this editorial under four important subheads. The first is about the Uniform Civil Code. We'll see the basics about this. What are the objectives there under the Article 44, oppositions to the Uniform Civil Code, and the purpose of the UCC, that is Uniform Civil Code. Now, recently, Uttarakhand के जो चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, he has recently set up the committee to prepare a draft on uniform civil code for the state, right? और बीजेपी रूल जो states हैं, उन सारे states ने कोशिश की है, pitch की है that UCC आनी चाहिए. So the political party is employing a bottom up approach. यहाँ पे bottom up approach का मतलब है कि जो central government है वो चाहती है कि state government पहले शुरुआत करे और बाद में एक यूनिफॉर्म लेवल पे सेंट्रल लेवल पे भी एक यूसीसी हो. सो द पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इज एम्प्लॉइंग अ बॉटम अप अप्रोच फ्रॉम स्टेट टू सेंटर टू एकम्प्लिश अ लॉन्ग स्टैंडिंग आइडियोलॉजी, जहाँ पे वो अर्ज करेंगे हर एक स्टेट्स के साथ ताकि वो अपने यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड के लिए एक बिल पास करें और बाद में उसी रूल के बेसिकली एट अ बेस what central government would be doing, they would be coming with the uniform civil code at the central level. Now about the uniform civil code, जो uniform civil code है ये basically that call for a formulation of one law. Uniform का मतलब single, which would be applicable on all religions, be it is जितनी भी religious communities हैं इंडिया में, और वो किन किन मैटर पे एप्लीकेबल होंगी, चाहे वो मैरिजेस हो, डाइवोर्स हो, इनहेरिटेंस हो और एडॉप्टेशंस हो, इन सारे चीज़ों पे एप्लीकेबल होगी. अभी हर एक कम्युनिटी के लिए मैरिज पे अलग रूल्स है, डाइवोर्स पे अलग रूल्स है. सो नाउ एवरीथिंग वुड बी यूनिफॉर्म. सो दैट इज द सोल पर्पस ऑफ द यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड. एंड द कोड come under Article 44 of the Constitutions, which lays down that states shall endeavor to secure a uniform code for its citizen throughout the territory of India. Now, objective of Article 44 की अगर बात करें, Article 44, which is enshrined in the directive principle of Indian Constitution, this addresses the discrimination against the vulnerable group and harmonize the diversity or diverse culture of the group across the country. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, while formulating the Constitution, has said that the Uniform Civil Code is desirable, mark my words, but it's for the moment it should remain voluntary, right? तो उन्होंने कभी भी मैंडेटरी करने की बात नहीं की है. इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम ये आज दैट सिचुएशन जैसे बदलती है उस हिसाब से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में अमेंडमेंट करके यूसीसी लाए जा सकते हैं. नाउ अपोजिशन टू द यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड, मुस्लिम ग्रुप particularly ulemas जो हैं, they have opposed the idea of uniform civil code for long. और Jamaat ul Hind, they have recently passed a resolution against the uniform civil code meeting in Deoband, which was attended by 2,500 members. And All India Muslim Personal Law Board have been consistently opposing the uniform civil code. 1996 में Prime Minister थे Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He has said that the national debate on UCC during his speech on the no confidence motion in the parliament. So you can see the evolving of this UCC. This is not new. ये एक ऐसी टॉपिक है जो काफ़ी डिबेटेबल है एक सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के लिए और स्टेट्स के लिए भी, बिकॉज दिस इज समथिंग विच इज रिलेटेड टू द सेंटिमेंट्स ऑफ अ लॉट मोर रिलीजियस विच इज रिसाइडिंग इन आवर कंट्री. तो बहुत ही बारीकी से गवर्नमेंट इस पर काम कर रही है. विल सी हाउ देयर इज अ रिजोल्यूशन कमिंग, बट फॉर यू इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप उसके सारे प्रॉस्पेक्ट समझें और एग्जाम्स में सारे डायमेंशंस को ज़रूर लिखें. Now, during the speech, he appreciated the practice of consent by the bride in the Muslim marriage ritual as progressive. Now, purpose क्या है यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड की? Why, how, and what are the advantages of the uniform civil code? So, this aims to protect to the vulnerable section as envisaged by the B.R. Ambedkar, including the women, religious minorities, and promoting the national fervours throughout the unity. And while enacting the code, it will simplify the laws to segregate the present basis of religious belief, including Hindu code bill, Sharia laws, and other laws. For every community, there's a guiding factor. The religious sects are there that is guiding it, right? So the code will simplify the complex law around the मैरिजल सेरेमनीज, इनहेरिटेंस, सक्सेशन, एडॉप्टेशंस, ये सारी चीज़ों में ये एप्लीकेबल होंगी, जिसको यूनिफॉर्म करने की बात कही जा रही है. And the same law will then be applicable for all citizens irrespective of their faith. So this irrespective in nature is itself evident that the uniform civil code call for the uniformity in law in each and every aspects. So this is something, the purpose of the uniform civil code. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answer of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is C. Now, consider the following statement. Maitri Setu project. Maitri Setu project symbolizes the relationship and friendly ties between India and Sri Lanka. The project is being taken by the Land Port Authority of India. So do check it out for the correct options. Second, military exercise Taslik 2 is between India and Sri Lanka, India, Japan, Russia, India and Afghanistan, India and Uzbekistan. So do check it out for the correct options. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.